Hey, good morning, everyone. I got the girls into the vet yesterday for CIDR placements. Those of you who don't know what CIDRs are, it's just CIDR, stands for Controlled Internal Drug Release. And it's what we do. It's the first step in our artificial insemination program that we do out here. So they get a shot of a certain hormone, and then they get these CIDRs, which have some hormone properties in them as well. And these CIDRs stay in for, we're actually going to do 9 days this year. Last year we did a week. See if I don't know if you can see, there's this blue string hanging out right there. So a CIDR was placed in there. So they're going to hang out inside the females for 9 days this year, and we only had luck with that one calf last year. All three of them had one attempt, and then there was a second attempt on her. That's her calf. So we're hoping that by keeping the CIDRs in an extra couple of days, and then we're gonna kick back the timing of the actual insemination as well, that we're gonna have more luck this year. The vet last year followed there. If anyone's looked into AI, there's a ton of different protocols out there. So there's a ton of different routes you can take, and CIDRs versus no CIDRs. When you pull the CIDRs, you can give an additional hormone shot to really get them into heat 2 days later, or you can pull the CIDRs and wait for them to come in heat on their own. But this whole program we're doing is just known as syncing them up. So it's technically like a 9-day sync. We're going to turn it into an 11-day sync. But this will just get all three of them basically coming into heat at the same time. So then it makes it easier for me when I take them down to the vet, that all three theoretically will be ready to be inseminated at the exact same time. So if I did it here on the ranch, which is a future plan, hopefully I'll get to the point someday soon where I'll be doing it here. But if I did it here on the ranch and my schedule was a little less screwy, we could look into some other protocols that would allow me to attempt the insemination when I witness them actually in standing heat. But because I have to take a trip to the vet, and it's not the easiest thing to get them to the vet, we just want to sync them all up so they're all coming into heat at the exact same time. So it's easier for everyone, and it's less stressful for them. I'll talk real quick. Yesterday actually ended up being kind of a stressful day, and I know I offered to take some videos of it, and I planned on it. I brought all my stuff. I really didn't want to bring the steer or the calf because neither of them needed to go into the vet for any reason. And right now, what I was driving, is just an older, half-ton Dodge pickup from the 2001 era, that second generation. And if anyone is familiar with the second generation Dodges, you know that they're notorious for transmission troubles. It's actually already had a transmission put in it. And wouldn't you know, the brand new transmission that's less than a year old decided to go out on us on the way to the vet yesterday. So we were already off to kind of a bad start because I was fully loaded. I just have a little 16-foot bumper pole, and it's actually an old trailer from 1979. And it's great. It was super cheap, and it's been rebuilt, so it saved me a ton of money for that initial purchase. But the dang thing is heavy. So I had, all 5 of these animals in there. It was definitely, I think, a little bit more than my truck was comfortable with. So tried to sort the steer off, tried to sort the calf off. It was the first time that the calf and her mom were attempting to get separated, so neither of them liked that. The steer just went along because he likes to go along. So we ended up getting just all of them in there, and instead of unloading them again and trying to get who I wanted in the trailer, I said, screw it, let's just take all of them. So a little more stressful right from the get-go, and then we weren't even halfway there, and the transmission decided to grenade on me and throw oil everywhere and smoke like a son of a gun. And at that point, it was getting pretty hot. We were getting close to 90 degrees yesterday. Obviously, 16-foot trailer loaded with all 5 of these animals was a bit tight, so I elected to sacrifice the truck and throw on the hazards and just keep driving down the highway, throwing oil and throwing smoke just to get these girls to the vet. We weren't super far away. We were probably only about 5 miles, but I started making some phone calls to have a backup plan in case we actually did break down. And I had someone who could come get the trailer if we didn't make it, but I wasn't willing to keep all these girls penned up in that trailer while we figured something out and waited on another ride. So I just said, screw it. We drove, we made it, unloaded them, and then they had to hang out at the vet a little bit longer than originally planned, and definitely longer than they wanted to, while we waited for someone else to come get us home. And it was a busy day at the vet, so he was running around. We got the CIDRs in no problem. I actually put, and again, I wish I could have had a video of it, because I actually put the CIDR in this one here. So she was the last to go through, and we had kind of been talking about it, and he's just like, hey, why don't you just put the CIDR in this one? So that would have been cool to get on film, and I really wish I could have. I apologize, but it just wasn't a good day for it. So anyway, first step is done. Luckily, my fiance drives a nicer, newer, bigger truck than I do, so I'm assuming I'll be able to use hers. They're gonna go back, like I said, 8 days from now. She can't reach it. 8 days from now. And we're gonna pull those CIDRs. Then they get basically another hormone injection, and then 2 days after that will be the actual insemination. So hopefully, if things go well, I'll try and get some footage of that. They're also, as you can see, at the fence line here, so farthest west in this pasture that they're gonna go. So they were just moved into their morning strip. So we're only gonna be in here till 3:30 this afternoon, and then we're gonna be moving up front to that front pasture, which was my set aside pasture for the drought. They're gonna be heading up front here this afternoon, so they're gonna be getting in some really stockpiled stuff. I'm actually a little nervous to see how they do on it, just because there's so much stemmy, mature, weedy stuff up there now. So we'll see. So something else I was gonna ask you guys, anyone out there who owns Dexters, do you guys have like I guess, what's your heaviest female you've ever had? And I know the dun one here, she's a heifer, so she obviously hasn't had a calf yet, so she's gonna be putting all of her energy into growing herself. But she was 1,010 pounds, which is crazy to me. And she went into the vet 2 months ago to get her hooves trimmed, and she was 950. So yeah, what's your guys' heaviest weights? Any of you Dexter owners out there? It was always my understanding that the females aren't going to get much over 900. And again, she's a heifer. This number 46, so the steer's mom, she was 880. The other black first calf heifer, the one with the new calf on her this year, she was 815. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's just all grass. I mean, there's no supplements. Occasionally they'll get some protein cubes or something like that, just to keep them tame. I mean, that's how I got them up to the corral setup yesterday, was just shake a bucket of those protein cubes that they really like. But that's 99.9% grass and forage. So I'm really hoping if we have another year where we only get one pregnant, I'm really hoping we can get her we can get her pregnant this year, because she's gonna have some great calves. If they're females, I'm definitely gonna keep them back. I think I'm gonna keep her females back to join the breeding stock, especially if these 2 leases work out for the long term. We're gonna have more land to run on. And if they're males, you know, give them 2 years and they're gonna be big beefy dudes ready to eat. So I'm pumped. Hopefully we can get her pregnant this year. So that's it, guys. I just want to do a quick update. I'm so sorry that I didn't get any of the footage of all of the shenanigans that went on yesterday. It would have been great entertainment for everyone. I mean, it's not every day that you're miles from home and miles from the vet with a load of cattle, and then your truck decides to shell out on you. So it would have been very entertaining, but anyone who works cattle knows that the minute stuff starts to get stressful, it makes it 10 times worse for the animals. And when it comes to breeding, especially with artificial insemination breeding, you want to keep those animals as calm as possible, because having that stress shoot through the roof, it diminishes your conception rate that much more. So I was trying to keep things calm, and I wasn't even thinking, oh, now's a good time to whip out my phone and take some video. So like I said, they're going back in like about a week, 8 days. So depending on how things go, I might try and take some videos of at least getting them loaded up into the trailer, and then once we get into the vet, pulling those CIDRs out. It's not going to be that exciting, but it's better than nothing. And then lost you guys for a second there. And then depending on how that goes, you know, I'm really going to try to take some video when they're actually doing the insemination, because that whole process is very, very exciting to watch, and it's pretty interesting. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you at the next one.